Back, everybody, to the Hearthstone Legendary Series. We are very close to the end here as the grand final is set, and it's going to be between Kolento and Roger. In fact, let's go ahead and take a look at the story so far of how we reached this point.
Yeah, and those numbers next to them are the amount of games that they've won, as I figured out earlier after many minutes of thinking.
You're like, wait, there's 3 Rogers and 2 Toms here?
Yeah. How many people in this tournament do we have named Roger? No, but Roger and Tom, the 2 Taiwanese players, faced up at the beginning of the day. That was a really long match, hard fought.
Yeah.
Roger came out on top and then defeated Trump in the semifinals to get here. Kolento, after a rough start early yesterday, has been tearing through the tournament and took down Silent 3-1, then took down Lemurian 3-1, and now he's up against the finals against Roger, and this is a doozy.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 players who are pretty much on fire lately, so it should be really interesting to see how this match is going to develop. Now, the winner of this match will be seeded directly into our LAN final for Season 2 later this season, where they're going to be joining Life Coach, the player from Week 1 who is already qualified for the LAN final. In fact, let's take one more look at Life Coach's run through Week 1 of HLS.
To be honest, I think this tournament was not that difficult.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the ESL Hearthstone Legendary Series. A very tough matchup for Life Coach. Wow, lethal. Oh my gosh. Nice. Life Coach probably kicking himself in that one.
But there were not that many difficult playing situations. It's not that it suddenly gets more difficult against a certain opponent. It's rather like either the playing situations are more difficult or not.
Looks like Strivecrow is going to tie this series up.
I mean, I try to think as much as possible with a given time, and also, of course, the preparation takes an important role. So I take a look at all the opponents of the tournament and analyze them completely throughout and analyze what classes they used to play, and then I will adjust all my decks and all my tech choices regarding my expectations.
And he's going to reclaim his throne as, I guess, the unofficial number one player.
Yeah, sometimes you get to spots where you're not comfortable with because you just, like, they are rare, for example, and then you have to think. The mind is everything the human has, so I'm really trying to build and improve my mind every day. If you say, okay, I want to analyze every situation as much as possible until I come to a very clear conclusion, yeah, then you can simply play Hearthstone and get better.
Life Coach, one of the most cerebral and clearly intelligent people that I've had the pleasure of speaking with.
Yeah, and one of the most German players as well. He actually lives in Austria, though, which is a funny thing. He lives in Vienna, Austria, so I guess he's not as German as he would initially let on to be.
All right, so it is an international game, and now we've got a Taiwanese player and a Ukrainian player going to be going up against each other in the Week 2 final. That's Roger versus, excuse me, Kolento. Now, on paper in this matchup, given the decks that they're bringing, who comes out ahead?
Usually when you get to the finals, it's because both of these guys have had really great deck choices so far, really great meta reads. In particular, I like the Warrior from Kolento. It stands up really well against Rogue, which was a deck that he could have expected a lot of people to bring. And it also does well against Warlock, like the Demon Warlock, which is a deck that he might have expected a lot of people to bring. It does fall to Mech Mage, but it does have opportunities to be able to counter that. But he's had a lot of success with the Warrior so far. And the Priest as well. He's got a very minion-heavy Priest deck. We talked about that a lot. It's been able to take games against matchups that Priest traditionally wouldn't be as good against. On the other hand, Roger, he's the only player to bring a really traditional handlock deck. And it's been the most consistent out of all the Warlocks that we've seen. Silent Storm's Demon Warlock fell short a little bit. Lemurian had that sort of traditional handlock with the combo elements, which did pretty well for him as well.
Yeah.
But Roger, his ability to draw into those Twilight Drakes and Giants in his opening hand is what's really made it work, I guess, so far in the tournament.
Now, it's also worth noting that Kolento has chosen for the first time in any of his matches this weekend not to open with that priest and instead going druid.
Yeah.
Do you think this is a mind game to try to catch his opponent off guard?
Yeah, well, I think druid, he knows that most players don't open with what was Roger's class?
Roger's class is Warlock.
Yeah. Most players in Conquest won't open with Rogue for some reason or another. We saw it a lot last week and a lot this week as well. Some players just don't really like opening with Rogue. And that's one of the classes that he's going to struggle with the most going up against Roger. So maybe not throwing the priest out there in preparation for matching up against the druid.
Yeah.
But I don't know. If you're having success with something, like opening with priest and winning with priest early and getting the win with priest early, why would you change it?
Sure, right. That's what I was wondering as well.
He 3-1 3 times in a row opening with priest. And now all of a sudden he opens with druid. And even though there might be some subtle reasons why,
yeah,
if it ain't broke.
Look at this curve though. He's got coin shade, shade, shredder, azure.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, but coin shade into shade is just begging to get hellfired.
Yeah, that's true. Against this in particular class is a little bit rough.
Well,
Mr.
Roger.
Mr. Roger.
Is that a Twilight Drake and a Mountain Giant I see in your opening hand?
Every time.
Mr. Roger's neighborhood. It's filled with Twilight Drakes and Mountain Giants.
You know, I thought that joke was a little too easy to make, which is why I held back.
Okay.
But I'm glad one of us went there. Somebody had to.
Yeah.
All right. So it is the grand final of week 2. And we still don't see Hellfire in the hand for the Warlock, though.
Yeah.
Of course, maybe that doesn't matter when you've got Drakes and Giant. Oh, and then he picks it up off the top.
Well.
Well met. I greet you.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
All right, so that doesn't feel particularly good if you're Kolento, and it's not going to feel any better when you see the cards that are coming up next.
Nope. And outside of BGH,
yeah,
Druids just don't deal with Giants.
Yeah, I was going to say, the only answer, if he wants to clear this Giant, which you have to, is to swipe it and run in your Shredder.
Yeah. Azure Drake, I mean, and try and go face and maybe pick up combo and try and find a miraculous victory.
Yeah, I mean, he already does have the Force of Nature. More and more players are just running 1 Force of Nature and 2 Savage Roars, so now he's thinking, okay, since I've got the more rare of the 2 pieces of the combo, maybe I can just start fishing. Have slightly better odds of getting the next piece. What do you think about this play? I guess it's going to have a pretty big impact when you look at the rest of the cards in his hand.
Yeah.
And taking the trade instead of going
That's
in the face.
a huge Emperor Thorson right there. Look at this. He can double Twilight Drake next turn.
My goodness.
Or, I mean, Twilight Drake, Defender Vargas, Mortal Coil, and Owl. Oh, he's like, I got one of those too. Oh, no.
Oh, jeez. Wow. So,
that's actually terrible.
What's
for
up,
Roger,
Thorson?
Because almost all of his cards right now have battle cries.
Yeah, he's going to have to clear that.
Yeah.
And it's really not that big of a deal that he does either.
Yeah. Loatheb, Defender Vargas.
Yeah.
You get into that point now when you're the handlock player in this matchup, though, where you have to play around combo every single turn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Once it gets to...
That's why he's got to be thinking about the defender play here, too.
Yeah. I mean, right now, next turn, he could actually do it with Thorson. If he had Force of Nature Savage Roar.
Yeah. Yeah,
he
Roger's
could be,
already at 15 health.
He could be dead this turn. He won't be, but he could be. And he
yeah,
has...
the Lotheb right on time here.
Oh, well, Lotheb, yeah, that's right.
Okay, well, Kolento consistently choosing the more aggressive, the play-to-win approach in every single one of these turns so far. He hasn't taken, in some cases, the obvious play, if you will, with swiping and then running in the Shredder to respond to the Giant. Instead, he goes with a minion. You know, and in this case, instead of taunting up Drew to the Claw to try to slow things down, going continually aggressive, putting him lower and lower. But now this situation is where it gets completely out of hand. And how do you get through the wall that Roger's about to throw up?
He could Twilight Drake, Molten Giant, and Anti-Keelbot. Or Twilight Drake, Anti-Keelbot, Defender of Argus. And Molten Giant. Just throw it in there. 0 mana. Who cares?
And you've got to respect the combo at all times.
Yeah.
So I think the Defender, because Healbot, unless you're able, well, he can clear that board. Well, how's he going to actually? He can get rid of Thorson and Dr. Boom, and then he's got a Mortal Coil for one of the bots.
Shadow Flame would have been nice right about now. Sylvanas Shadow Flame and steal the Dr. Boom.
Oh yeah.
He wouldn't be playing around combo there. This is actually a little bit awkward because it's tough to sort of calculate combo damage on the fly when there's a lot of creatures on the board.
Yeah.
But I think this is the optimal way to do it because he's going to be able to clear everything off. And everything that's on the board right now is from his hand.
Yeah.
1 turn, 8 mana. That's what he played.
That is incredible. All right, so now with the swipe, so he's got the Keeper of the Grove. He can silence the Twilight Drake. Make that quite a bit easier to kill.
Hope that the Boombot.
Wow, come on, Boombot.
Oh!
And the good-mannered sorry about that.
Sniperinoed.
Oh, wow. Well, that went about as wonderfully as it possibly could have, but he is... No, he's got the Defender of Argus, okay.
Yeah, Roger's like, I don't really care.
Yeah.
That Molten Giant was free.
Oh, man. Well, Kolento is got his back against a wall here in this situation. He does have the Ancient Allure. He can pick up some cards. Azure can cycle.
I wonder.
Yeah. Dealing with the Sylvanas first, even though you could have taken out a couple of extra creatures with Azure Drake Swipe, would have been a liability, though.
Yeah.
He needs to draw into combo so he can threaten with it, but at this point, it's starting to get dangerous for him because now he's leaving a lot of damage left over on the board. Big threats are for sure going to come out. Now he can just play Ragnaros here, or even 5 mana Dr. Boom.
5 mana Dr. Boom.
What the?
What the? That ain't right. There's something wrong here.
Oh, Ragnaros.
All right, Ragnaros going to bring him down to 10 health. What can Kolento do here?
Try and draw into BGH here with one of these Wild Growths or that Azure Drake. Because even if he Wild goes into Force of Nature as well, he could Force of Nature Savagor and at least kill everything but the Rag. But then he wouldn't have anything on the board, and he'd be at effectively 2 health after the Rag hit the following turn. So he needs to draw into BGH here. Either way, he's pretty much dead anyway. But at least he would have a little bit of a chance.
Yeah, well, he's definitely going to have to start trying to cycle through some cards here and see what he can pick up.
Huh?
No, the Innervate basically makes that Wild Growth free to try to cycle a little bit more.
That's not a BGH.
No, it's not. So basically at this point, he has to... He's probably going to put down either the Belcher or the Druid of the Claw. And then he's going to hope that the Warlock can't come up with 2 more damage. Because he can get right through the Belcher or the Druid of the Claw, no problem. And then it's 50-50 if Ragnaros hits your face or hits the Azure.
Where shall I strike?
Druid of the Claw is actually a little bit harder to get to, because either way you're forcing both to attack in. This way the Defender of Argus actually dies in the process.
Yeah.
Instead of attacking into the 1-2. The Goldshire Footman.
Yeah, there you go. So that's definitely the line of thinking there.
Just trying to make sure that no matter what, combo will not kill him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because
Dr.
combo
Boom for
without the
Kolento.
Belcher, if he goes Dr. Boom, well, okay, never mind. Thorsan is one of the trickier cards.
Yeah.
Because you see all these portraits of cards and you forget, oh, wait a second, that doesn't cost what it usually does
Yeah.
right now. Even though the number's right there staring you in the face.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what he's fishing for here. Not sure what he expects to get. I guess you gotta... If you're just trying to buy time and you don't want to just go quietly into that knight, you drew to the claw, innervate. Yeah, and Sylvanas here.
Yeah.
And then there's that outside chance that Ragnaros winds up shooting Sylvanas. And you
then
steal Ragnaros.
steal Rag. Oh, man. The power play turn. Anti-heal bot Dr. Boom.
Good lord.
Yeah, this is risky, though, but you have to flood the board as much as possible just to reduce the chance that, of course, if Rag does hit Sylvanas.
Mm-hmm. Steal something that you're not willing to let go of.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no way out of this.
Yeah. This one is all over but the crying.
Well, he
You
can...
can cycle with Wrath.
Yeah. If he steals Sludge Belcher and Ras for 1 into BGH,
And then has the mana left over, put down his own Sludge Belcher.
and he Ras for 1 on the boom bot, and it doesn't hit him
And
for
it
more than
doesn't
1,
hit him. Yeah.
he's dead.
Yeah, this one's rough. We'll see if he wants to hang in there, though. He is in the grand final. He's 3 wins away from his ticket to Burbank.
Yeah.
So there's always the desire not to just give up so
Yeah.
easily. You see it all the time. But,
I got a burrito waiting for one of these guys.
well, there you have it. All right, Kolento, not going to waste any more time with a match that he knows is over. He's just going to move right along and just take his first loss with grace.
Yeah, and that's a lot of times now that Roger has picked up win with the Warlock on the first try.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty impressive. Roger still has Druid and Rogue left compared to Kolento's Druid, Priest, Warrior. So his his Druid will be good against all those,
Yeah.
except for the other Druid, because, of course, Mirror Match not necessarily goes either way. Their decks
Right.
are very similar.
Yeah.
I would go ahead and say that they're probably almost identical, but it's looking pretty grim for Kolento right now. He's going to have to go on the back of that Warrior again and probably pick up a couple wins with that at the end of the matchup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's going to be a tough road.
Well, we'll see what he decides to choose next here, but he definitely does have his back up against the wall after losing that. The Druid, that's a match he had to win.
Yeah, and
It really is.
I think that's one of the reasons why he opened with the Druid.
Yeah.
He might have known that Roger tends to go with that Warlock first. If you picked Priest, Priest just struggles so much against Handlock. We saw it earlier.
Yeah.
Kolento lost against Lemurian's Handlock. Well, I mean, it was to a 20 damage burst combo. But
Well, yeah.
even after that, it would have still been tough because there's just so many big threats that Priest just can't really deal with.
Yeah, well, he's going Priest, and it's going to be up against Roger's Druid. So we're not going to see that mirror matchup. But,
He might have just thrown his Druid out as sacrifice to get the Warlock out of the way. And maybe if he could find a win with it, awesome. Because now he doesn't have to worry about the Warlock for his Priest and his Warrior,
Yeah.
which would have rough matchups against, everything. All the decks have rough matchups. Yeah.
Wow, so Roger with a smile. Looks like he's got a supporter nearby, and Kolento with the opposite.
Yeah. Well, who knows?
Hashtag forever alone. Napping in his room.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wiping his tears with all the money that he's won from the tournaments. All these tournaments that he's
Yeah, yeah. He's like, nah, whatever.
winning.
Can't win them all.
Yeah. But now this matchup's a little tough. It's not as bad as it used to be for the Priest.
Okay.
Because back in maybe a couple months ago, pre-GVG, Druids ran a lot more heavy mid-range creatures that were harder for Priests to deal with, like Spectral Knight
Yeah, yeah.
and Yetis.
Right. Those were always a nightmare in Druid.
Yeah. Spectral Knight and Yetis were like the bane of Priest's existence
Oh,
back
yeah.
then.
The turn 1, coin
Yeah.
innervate Yeti, and you're a priest.
Yeah.
What do I do?
Yeah, or just a turn 5 on curve Spectral Knight was
Yeah.
nearly impossible.
All right.
Because the strongest board you could have at that point if you're a priest is like a Northshire cleric and a injured Blade Master.
Yeah, it's true.
And it's just so hard to get through that. But now it's a little bit easier because druids are shying away from that. About the only 4 attack drop that they have now is they have Pilot Shredders, which are tough,
Mm-hmm.
but more easily dealt with. And
Yeah.
they have Druid of the Claws, which actually some druids are even cutting Druid of the Claw and just
Yeah.
going with Sledge Belchers only for that 5-slot
Mhm.
taunt. So
See, I like to keep the Druid of the Claw because it's versatility. Sometimes if you choose charge form, it's that 4 damage you need to set up your
Yeah.
combo next turn, you know?
yeah, the Nihilum boys, Life Coach and Lothar, and RDU, and their Druid decks, they're cutting the Druid of the Claws, and they actually put in like Nourish and Rag.
Yeah, and it was Life Coach who was running a Nourish last week in his Druid as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and they have been collaborating, and you can tell a lot of all 3 of those guys have similar Druid decks, and most of them are cutting Druid of the Claw. So it's pretty
Mhm.
interesting how that's evolving.
Yeah.
Because most of the time, Sludge Belcher is better than Druid of the Claw in taunt form.
Yes.
If you have the choice, most of the time, Sludge Belcher is what you go with.
Yeah, absolutely. Unless you do find yourself in a similar situation to the last game where Sludge Belcher would be the difference between the defender living
Yeah.
or dying.
And it's a very small difference, where
Yeah.
sometimes it's a big difference why Sludge Belcher is better.
Right.
It's either a small difference why Druid of the Claw is better, or a big difference why Sludge Belcher is better.
So Kolento unable to pick up any of his early ramp cards. No Wild Growth, no Innervate.
Roger's the Druid.
I'm sorry. Roger. Thank you. Been a long weekend, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Where am I? Who knows? Burbank, what's that?
And spending his coin here just so that he can get the card draw and do a little bit of damage.
Hey, he's trading the coin for a card.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
fair enough.
Protecting his... in this matchup, the Pilot Shredder's worth more than the Shade.
Mm-hmm.
In some matchups, you keep that Shade stealth,
Yeah.
because you know that you're going to use it later on. But Pilot Shredder's so hard for Priest to deal with that you want to keep it as healthy as possible.
Yeah, as you can see here, the best answer he's got is just Power Word Shield and fish for something.
Yeah.
I'm gonna, you know. So, I guess it's just got to be Belcher Pass, yeah.
Yeah, he's
That's
got
what
Wild
we're gonna see.
Pyromancer, Holy Nova for some crazy plays later on. He also
Yeah.
does have Cabal next turn for what comes out of that Pilot Shredder.
Yeah.
But there's a chance that we might not even see Pilot Shredder traded into anything here.
Yeah.
Swipe Hero Power. Makes it so that he can just trade into both of these
Yeah.
and still keep both of his
Pretty
guys
clean.
really healthy.
Yeah.
And this is this is so hard for Priest to deal with. Sylvanas is almost certainly going to come down next turn because that's about the only way that he's going to get through all these
Right.
and stop the board from getting out of control.
Yeah, you look at his hand, and that's got to be about the only choice he really can make. If you Akanai and try to ping the Pilot Shredder, it's just going to come back as something else.
Yeah.
And then you've still got the Druid of the Claw sitting there as four damage, right in that sweet spot against Priest. That's going to be...
You can maybe try and like Sludge Belcher and Power Word Shield, but Sylvanas just seems like the overwhelmingly stronger play.
Yeah, and even then, it still feels a little bit scary. As we do see now, we can confirm Roger running Double Force in Nature
Yeah.
in this Druid, trying to make a little bit more of a consistent
Yeah.
to get to that combo.
Yeah. Or in this matchup, it's probably pretty good because a lot of times you want to kill the Priest before they stabilize.
Mm-hmm.
And so consistently being able to draw into that combo by turn 9 is good. And this Sylvanas is actually pretty problematic. He might even have to kill off his own Sylvanas with some like Wild Pyromancer play.
Mm-hmm. I was just thinking the same thing.
Because he can kill the
You
Boom,
can get it very likely that you're going to wind up stealing
Dr. Boom.
Dr. Boom, yeah.
Because you killed off the Boombots as well with the Wild Pyromancer before the Sylvanas would be stolen.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so if you start with Pyromancer and Holy Nova, then Sylvanas will wind up getting injured back down to 4 health. You run Sylvanas into the Druid of the Claw, and you steal either Dr. Boom or what comes out of the Shredder. That's one option.
Yeah.
He has the mana to do it.
You could also use Power Word Shield on the Pyromancer and then trade in. He'll take less damage to face that way because the Boom Bots will likely hit the Wild Pyromancer instead. Which is at 16.
Yeah, that is getting dangerously low.
Yeah.
And coming into that late game phase where you're always scared of the Druid.
He needs to act fast though, because Pyromancer animations take a little bit.
Yeah, that's the truth.
And this way he'll steal
Okay.
the Paladin Shredder.
Yeah, that's probably the most reasonable choice.
Yeah. It fills up his mana the best.
Oh, wow, and look at that. Only, now he chooses...
It's 8 mana.
I guess it is 8 mana, but still, really?
Yeah.
Choosing to heal that instead of your face when you're down at 14 health, and you're only 1 turn away from the combo turn.
This is the point of the game where you can start to stabilize. Because this is the point where you can actually build up your board while clearing. You're not just playing completely reactively the whole time.
Okay.
He has Light of the Naru as well. And Holy Nova. He can just heal himself back up out of the combo range.
He did just pick that up.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, he's definitely playing bold, playing brave. And like you were talking about a lot last week with Hyped, you know, making choices to play to win, having to delay the loss, how it usually winds up feeling sometimes.
Yeah.
And he's going to go fishing a little bit here to see what he can pick up.
Nice. It looks like he's just going to ping it down, though.
Okay.
Not going to get quite as much value out of that Light Warden. But he's still going to be able to make some efficient trades here, start applying damage. Mad Scientist, not the greatest.
No.
At least for
No, certainly
Brace.
not. That's just a 2-2 body. So he's got both Force of Natures, and he wants to use one, it looks like defensively here, since he's already got the other one.
Yeah.
Or maybe just to apply even more damage.
I think he's going to clear here, play Shade, and maybe Hero Power down. Like, kill the Mad Scientist and the Akanai Hero Power down. And then play the Shade.
Okay.
Because then if he draws into Savage Roar, he's almost guaranteed lethal.
Yeah.
But he's also afraid that that Light Warden can get pretty huge.
Yeah, that's a good point. Oh, it looked like that targeting arrow was going to the face, though.
It did.
It did.
Okay, there we go. That's weird. I don't know, that play felt a little weird to me. I guess Light Warden could represent more potential damage
Yeah.
than Akanai Soul Priest.
Yeah.
But with Akanai Soul Priest on the board, he's not going to really get much out of that Light Warden.
Yeah, that's true.
But I guess at the same time, he wants to keep the Akanai alive to make sure that he's never going to get outside of combo range.
Yeah, and I think it's also a bit of a tell, too, perhaps, to Kolento. A lot of times when I'll see a defensive Force of Nature like that, it automatically clues me in, like, okay, he either has one already or he at least runs two.
Yeah, wow. And this is a solid play here because he did draw into the Savage Roar. And now he's got to find a way to get through that Sludge Belcher. And he has the
can silence it.
But it's going to get Cabal. Next turn he can Cabal. Damage the like ping the wow.
I wonder if that's the right play there, because if I've got the priest at 16 health and I've got combo in hand, I don't want him to have the option to heal his face ever. I think I leave the Akanai alive in that situation.
Yeah, now Kolento's in a really great position here.
Yeah, he is.
And Roger's just not going to be able to get through the Sludge Belcher easily without using a lot of his resources.
Yeah.
And he's at 14 health. There's quite a bit of damage showing on the board. Druid of the Claw on top form is going to block some, but... He wants to keep the Druid, the Sludge Belcher as healthy as possible because
Yeah.
that's his sort of last line of defense.
Oh, wow. Nice. Still works. And I definitely don't agree with doing the Druid's work for him here. I definitely go face.
Yeah, it can feel kind of weird to leave a creature on the board with knowing combo is pretty threatening.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's always ways that a Druid can work around a Sludge Belcher and be able to use that low deb as a 7 damage.
Yeah.
But in this case, he knows that even if he Force Nature, Savage Roar, or Hero Powers, it's weird to kill a Sludge Belcher like that.
Yeah, there's not going to be a number that hits that exact 7 damage.
No, it's
you
really
know?
awkward.
Yeah, you're going to wind up overkilling and wasting quite a bit of it in that case.
Double combo. And
He's got the Innervate, and
he can't use it.
Oh, wow.
I think double combo would be lethal. If he double comboed, he could put one guy into there, his face in the other one, and he'd have 7 plus 12. It would be.
Yeah.
He's 1 mana.
Unfortunately, he needs 11 mana to do it.
Yeah.
He's only got access to 10 with that Innervate.
He's trying to think, what can I do to make it so I can have this exact situation next turn,
Yeah.
but with more mana?
And now you're also looking at lethal damage to your own face. So now you're trying to decide what's the best way to do it. He winds up deciding defensive combo.
Ouch.
Brutal.
He's dead. Unless he clears. Okay, he got it off.
Yeah, he got it all off.
Yeah. That rope always jukes me out with the Spectator Climb. I thought he didn't get it off.
Oh, wow. Soul Priest.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a little bit scary.
Kolento's like, finally I won. Jeez. This guy took a long time to die.
Yeah.
And this is
Cenarius doesn't stop it.
No.
Not at all.
Actually, yeah, it does.
No, you ping one. Oh, yeah. Okay.
With the hero power. He had to
The
activate
hero power
to
is
stay
exactly right. Yeah, but Shadow Madness should finish this anyway,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Cabal.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop it.
Or double Shadow Madness. Or
Just
Shadow
do
Madness and Cabal. Any combination of the 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So there you go. Kolento evening up the series, getting the win with the Priest. Roger looking a little bit stressed.
Yeah, he's trying to think if he could have made a better play earlier on
Yeah.
around that mid-game to maybe have a better chance. And there was that one turn where he ended up killing off the Ancient of Lore with the Keeper instead of silencing the Sludge Belcher,
Right.
which he could have won the game the next turn or the next couple of turns if he had silenced the Sludge Belcher instead.
Right, right.
But I mean, that's a call that he made, and he was afraid of the damage. He knew that the Akanai on the board would trade into his Ancient of Lore anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just tough to make that call. And
Yeah.
that's going to tie it up, though. Kolento taking a win with his Priest, getting that one out of the way.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
we have Druid left for both players,
Yes.
and then Rogue left for Roger. Kolento has Warrior. So Roger wants to dodge the Warrior.
Yeah.
With his Rogue.
With his Rogue, yeah.
He wants his Druid to match up with the Warrior, and he wants his Rogue to match up with the Druid. So this next this next matchup,
This decision, yeah.
it's really big because it's going to say a lot because they both have cross counter decks.
Right.
So whoever sort of wins the mind game battle,
Right.
whoever flips the coin and gets the right deck here has a distinct advantage. And it's all about them thinking about what the tendency is of the other player,
Sure.
what kind of playstyle they have, and let's see what it is. Oh,
Kolento.
got the bad end of this one.
Yeah, yeah, he definitely did.
And this was actually, I think, a little bit of an advantage for Roger as far as picking decks went.
Mm-hmm.
Because Roger here either gets the matchup against Warrior or a mirror matchup.
Right.
And so it's better for him than Kolento, who had to either pick a mirror matchup or a poor matchup.
Right, right.
So Roger actually had the advantage going into that one. He made the correct choice going with Druid here. And Kolento's got his work cut out for him because if he loses against this Druid, he's got to pick up 2 wins against Rogue and Druid with his own Druid.
Yeah, and that's not going to be easy to do.
No.
No, absolutely not. So we'll see. It is a game of cards, though, ladies and gentlemen. So it's not exactly just an auto win
Yeah, they're
for the Druid. There's
slinging cards,
there's always a chance.
doing cardstone things.
Doing cardstone things, but definitely going to be an uphill battle for Kolento in this one.
And a Warrior, I'd say this matchup is 60-40 in favor of the Druid.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Yeah, because the Warrior can absolutely kind of armor up and always kind of just steadily keep himself right out of combo range
Yeah.
and just eventually outvalue
Yeah, a lot of
the
times
Druid.
against high pressure decks, though, Warriors get around that low health, like 10 to 15 health mark
Mm-hmm.
before they stabilize, which Druid is like, okay, you're stabilized, just kidding. Force
Yeah.
Nature Savage Roar. But if they can get through that early game, that mid game, while being high health and being stabilized on board, then they should be in pretty good shape.
Yeah. Roger looking a little bit stressed out right now.
I would be too,
Yeah, especially with that starting hand.
especially just looking at Kolento laying in his bed. That's intimidating on its own.
Yeah, and look at Kolento. He's going to have double Armor Smith Acolyte.
Against Druid, that's not that good.
No, but
Druid is not going to have anything that those are going to stand up to. Like, his first card is usually going to be Shade or Paladin Shredder. A Paladin Shredder will kill 3 Armor Smiths.
fair enough.
He does have Fireworks, though, so that's good. But again, if the first card he plays is a Druid of the Claw,
Mm-hmm.
then what is he going to do? It's
Yeah.
so hard to get through the early game without taking massive hits
Mm-hmm.
as a Warrior against a Druid. But he does have some
Well,
decent tools.
Yeah, and as we can also see, Roger doesn't really have much that he can
No, that's a
do
terrible,
with this
that's a terrible
point.
start.
That
No
is-
Innervate, no Shade, no
Yeah.
Wild Growth.
no
Not doing anything but hero power.
yeah, no anything that you actually want to start the game with as the Druid. God.
First card's going to be a Keeper. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, just to silence an Acolyte. Oh, Kolento. Gonna finish it. Huh.
I'm actually surprised that he didn't throw the Acolyte in
Yeah.
and then use the cool Taskmaster to put some more damage on with the Armor Smith.
I was just thinking the same exact thing. I'm a bit
Because-
surprised by that play.
Now this Druid of the Claw is going to be so much harder.
Mm-hmm.
It's harder for you want to sort of spread your power against Druid because they have trouble with dealing with a lot of things.
Yeah.
They have trouble with dealing a lot of medium-sized things. But
Now this is a bit of a sticky situation here. I guess you got to use the execute here to
Oh,
get
yeah.
through, and then
wow,
oh, throws the BGH down
aggressive.
too. Just yeah,
super aggressive.
and safe from anything other than double swipe in 2 turns.
Yeah, he's going to
Gonna have to
defensively
use-
Savage Roar though.
Wow.
I don't like this line of play from Kolento. I said earlier that Warriors can sometimes be the aggressors
Uh-huh.
if they get good hands, but the amount of damage that
not
he's doing
like
per turn
this.
is pretty negligible, yeah. Unless he had like removal in his hand that he knew he could back up his board with.
Yeah.
He doesn't though. The brawl in his
No,
hand
he's
would
sitting
hurt
on
him
brawl.
more.
Okay, I was gonna say that would wind up doing more damage to himself.
Oh wow, right on
Oh,
time.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. But now he's sort of like top decking
Mm-hmm.
to try and put pressure because the Druid's now is at that point where, well, he didn't have anything to do for the first 4 turns.
Mm-hmm.
So now's when he's going to start to put out some damage. Or some creatures and then some damage.
Yeah. Oh, he can't use the second force of nature
No.
already. There's no way.
Yeah, he
Thought about it.
he's scared that if he plays Ancient of Lore, it's just going to get shield slammed.
Yeah.
And then he's going to take another 8 damage to the face, be at 10.
Mm-hmm.
He's-
Swipe just gives him too much health.
yeah.
Gives your opponent effectively 7 health because it's 8.
Whoa.
-1.
He just swiped.
Wow.
That seemed weak.
That seemed crazy.
He's at 40 health. You'll never kill him.
Are we going to just see a War Axe to the face here, too? I mean, given everything else that Kolento's done so far, he's thinking about it.
Yeah, you'd set yourself up for lethal next turn. I mean, what did he just do? He just swiped your armor smith. He gave you,
Yeah.
what, 8 armor?
Yeah, well, -1
And then
because swipe hits your face, too. But, yeah, he just gave you, he just healed you for 7.
You have to be thinking, what does he have in his hand? Does he have 6 Force of Natures?
Kolento just wants to end this game as quickly as he can. Harrison probably going to have to come down in another swipe. Wow.
Well, this could be the stabilization point for the Druid.
Right?
Because he's cleared the
Who would have
board.
thought we'd be saying that?
Kolento's got no cards left. Okay, well, there we go. He can Shield Maiden and execute.
Yeah.
But now he's got nothing.
Well, except 54 health. 54 health, a Shield Maiden, and a Brawl, baby. That's all I need.
Yeah, 54 health will buy me about 12 turns to draw into Grommash,
Into
Cool Taskmaster.
something, yeah. Yeah, in fact, the Ancient Allure coming down and taking the health, in fact, from Roger. Giving respect to the Grom. And that Brawl has been in Kolento's hand for so long, too, that Roger's got to think at this point, oh, that's Grom.
Yeah.
You know, which is probably why he
Oh.
chooses to heal there as well.
56 health.
Oh, wow. All right, now I like this one. At this point, he's kind of going to be able to get the board back.
Yeah. I wouldn't
You
be
know,
I wouldn't be sad with that. Oh, okay.
You're still dead to Grom if that is either Grom and he picks up an activator, or if that's an activator and then he picks up Grom.
Yeah.
Bringing him down to a respectable 55 health.
Yeah. Chipping away.
Yeah, Dr. Boom, Kolento, maybe he's showing a new way to play the Control Warrior versus Druid matchup when the Druid has nothing to play until
Yeah.
turn 4.
Control Warrior. He's controlling the health of the other player.
Exactly.
Oh!
Oh, goodness.
That's scary.
You're taking your life into your own hands
Yeah, but
when you
I
make
mean,
these plays. Oh!
he's got Keeper. Kolento doesn't have anything in his hand but Brawl.
Wow, they both wind up hitting his face, but they both hit his face for not too much damage. Now, oh my gosh, but now there's a Sludge Belcher standing in the way.
He doesn't have an activator either.
No, he doesn't.
And he can't use Shield Slam as an activator.
What now?
Nothing quite like 21 damage of overkill.
Yeah. On your own creature.
Do you... I think you Brawl here.
He might Sylvanas, actually.
Because, so, 52 health sounds like a lot, right?
Yeah.
But that's going to be 10, 17, plus 2 per one of those if he has combo.
Oh my god.
And he...
Wait. He's got to count it.
Yeah.
17 plus 8 is 25 plus 14. He had 39 damage that turn.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite enough.
Not quite enough? Okay, fair enough.
But
So now he's going to have to Brawl.
yeah.
There's really no two ways around it at this point.
Still got a respectable, 41 health. And he's hoping.
And a respectable, just stoic look on his
Yeah.
face as well. All right.
Well,
Oh, wow, that makes the combo even cheaper.
Yeah.
No longer is it just Thaurissan, it turns out.
got 30 damage with the combo after that.
Yeah, I think Roger's got this one. If
20% chance to win the game right now for Kolento. Oh, what
Yeah.
he's making his fist. What is he even doing right now?
Oh, he's he's got the spirit fingers. He's praying to Ragnaros.
Oh my
He says,
God.
"Come on, baby. Come on, baby."
Give me a 2-1 lead right now. Here we go.
hot shooter, hot shooter.
1 in 5. 20% chance to straight up win the game.
Oh, and he hits the worst possible target there too.
All right.
So now
that's-
Force of Nature, Savage Roar.
That's
This
yeah,
wins the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with the charge.
Yeah.
Doing it with style.
He got through 56 health.
Yes, he did.
He got down to 9 and got through 56. That's a
Impressive.
47 health differential he overcame. Didn't even think it was possible, but Druid's doing Druid things.
Yep. Overcoming the YOLO strat too of Kolento.
The old fist into the fist into spirit fingers. It was like
that's
some
how
sort
you get Ragnaros to shoot where you want him to. Hopefully.
some sort of failed Ukrainian voodoo magic.
Oh,
I
come
don't
on.
I don't even
Come
know.
on. Well, now, if Kolento didn't have his back against the wall in that last match,
Yeah.
now he certainly has it up against the wall. We could be seeing Roger being the second player going into the LAN final later on.
Yeah, Roger just has to take a game with Rogue.
Yeah.
Now, it sounds easy. 2 tries to take a game with Rogue.
Yeah, but one of those tries is against a control warrior.
Yeah, one of those tries against a control warrior. The other gets against a Druid, which is possible, but
Mhm.
Druids just don't really have too many really weak matchups.
Right, right.
Maybe a little bit favored for the Rogue, but not really.
Yeah.
It's very close to 50-50, and he's going to go with the control warrior first.
Yeah, you've got to. Again, because at this point you know it has to be the rogue from Roger.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's definitely the clear choice, I think. Just stay in the tournament right now. Don't risk going out, you know?
Yeah, and
Hmm.
it's a really slow warrior deck, and I'm not sure if that's going to play against him.
Uh-huh.
It was a weird play from Kolento last game to just go all in like that.
It really was. It seemed, well, it's certainly uncharacteristic of him, for one thing.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what he's playing around or for by choosing some of those plays either.
Yeah. But we've seen mixed results from this matchup, Rogue versus Warrior.
Mm-hmm.
We've had some games where the Rogue came out on top
Yeah.
after a long, grueling battle. We've also had some games where the Warrior just completely shut out the Rogue,
Yeah.
which is possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's definitely one of the harder matchups for the Rogue to wind up pulling off.
Backstab is kept in most matchups. Warrior is one of those matchups where you don't keep backstab.
Mm-hmm.
Just because there's nothing that you're going to backstab.
Yeah.
Backstabbing an Armor Smith or
I was
an
gonna
Acolyte
say,
of Pain.
what are the choices? You either give him armor or a card.
Yeah, Backstab's
know?
a bad card in this matchup. And there's actually Paladin Shredders in this Warrior deck, so
Yeah. Which is,
I put Paladin
It's-
Shredders in my Control Warrior deck.
yeah, I was going to say, it's definitely not unheard of.
Did Fibonacci do it?
Yes, that is the question.
I can't remember. So
So you're actually asking,
Yeah,
did
I'm actually-
Fibonacci do it?
legitimate asking you if you knew.
I do not.
Okay. That settles that. That's a really clogged hand. Having double oil. He does have prep sprint. But he's got to be able to build a board too, because
Mm-hmm.
Warrior here can actually start pressuring, and he's got both executes.
Yeah, are
So-
we going to see another YOLO face warrior run here?
Yeah. I would coin out Despite here, but he's actually going to coin out Paladin Shredder.
Mhm.
I actually like to coin out Deathbite on turn 4 against a rogue, just because a lot of times they'll end up playing Violet Teacher
I was
if they
gonna
didn't play
say-
anything before those.
Kind of forces them not to,
Yeah.
or to just give her up if they
Yeah.
do.
This is the play that makes the most pressure, and he still would have had a way to deal with the Violet Teacher. Other than that, but a play like Violet Teacher Prep Sap would have punished him.
Mm.
And now he's got 2, so
Yeah.
might as well. And he's going to start piling the damage. I mean, this is
Yeah,
9 damage that he's
absolutely.
gonna be doing.
Absolutely. And this is exactly what you've been saying all weekend. How do you beat the oil rogue? Well, you put a lot of pressure on the oil rogue.
Force them to play defensively. Put
Yeah.
cards on the board that are tough for them to deal with efficiently with their cards.
Right.
And even though he's got 10 cards in his hand right now, he's only going to be able to use 1 or 2.
Yeah, that is clunky. That does not curve out at all. That's rough. And looks like he's just going to probably thinking about, looks like he's thinking about just choosing to go fishing with the Azure Drake. You know the Azure Drake's going to just get chopped down. And you're just sort of trying to pick up another card here.
Yeah. You can, like, Blood Mage Phantom now.
Yeah.
And then kill the Powder Shredder, but that's giving so much armor.
Wow, even looked like he might have been thinking for a second there about using the South Sea defensively.
Yep. This is the only way you're going to make use of oil in this type of situation.
Yeah. Okay, so he does just go to the face with the South Sea at least, choosing not to try to clear with South Sea, which is not South Sea's strength, per se, clearing the board.
No. But, I mean, that's the most you can hope for with South Sea Deckhand is 5 damage to the face. Because normally you use it as a combo later on to combo oil. So he's still using it how it's supposed to be used.
Sure.
He's just getting the damage in earlier than you normally would with the card.
Yeah.
So it's not a wasted South Sea Deckhand by any means. Wow, 15 health already. And he's also got second Death Bite in his hand, so he can do, with just the weapons, 12 damage over the course of those turns. He just needs to sneak in 3 more from something else.
Yeah, I was just going to say, so if he... Okay, let's see what pops out of this. Okay, so that's a pretty clean board clear then for the Rogue. Also cycles through another card or 2 here.
Yep.
Hey, speak to me.
He's even got Rag, too. Both of that creatures on the board can sneak damage in the face.
Picking up another card with the Acolyte.
Brawl is okay. It's good against big Violet Teacher boards.
Yeah.
Because usually you can give yourself a high chance to get one of the, what are they, students?
Apprentice?
Apprentice?
Violet Apprentice.
Oh, that's boring.
Yeah, maybe. Violet Minion?
Violet Pupils.
Violet Dude.
Yeah, the Violet Dudes.
Violet Bros.
Why is she a Violet? Her dress is that Violet? Looks like blue to me. Whatever.
Man.
I'm just pissed off at so many game elements.
Alright, so now he does have excuse me. He has the Rogue down to 14 health, but he doesn't really have any way to burst it down right now.
Yep.
And he's starting to sort of see the board go a little bit into the favor of the Rogue here. Well, that's nice. Anytime you get 3 cards out of your Acolyte, you feel pretty good in that situation.
And he can feel okay about going face here. Because no matter how many apprentices, or how many Violet Dudes he makes next turn, he's still going to be able to clear off whatever it is.
Yep, absolutely.
He's even got double execute to clean up some stray creatures.
Wow, and look at this. Using Blade Flurry for not the greatest effect of all time. Clearing just a single minion. Doing a little bit of damage to the face.
That's it.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Picking up Grom off the top, and that's lethal. Kolento staying alive in the series.
Yeah.
2-2. Now he's got to find a way to beat this Rogue one more time.
With Druid.
Yep.
And I mean, that's one of the many ways that Warriors can win in that matchup. They can just play the long game and make sure that they clear the board early on, armor up as much as possible, force the Rogue to run out of damage, or just pressure like that. And Rogues just don't have a way to deal with that.
Right.
Armor Smith's such a tough card to play around if you're a Rogue.
Yeah.
You use your AoE spells, you're just giving them health.
Yep.
You're almost guaranteed to be using all of your damage inefficiently.
Yeah.
And a rough matchup, but Kolento played that about as well as you can play that matchup. So now the final match, the winner of this not only gets invited, they get $1,500 for winning the Legendary Series match day.
That's right.
And get that invite to our land finals.
Yeah, which is guaranteed more money as well just by getting here.
Yeah.
And it looks like Roger gonna kind of take a quick break, gather his composure. It's game 5, $1,500, and a trip to Burbank on the
I
line.
think it's $25,000 prize pool.
Yeah, and he's got to make sure, Roger, that he's got his head in the right place before he gets into this last match.
Yeah. And, I mean, no matter who makes it, that's going to be a star-studded lineup already. We got Life Coach from week 1.
Yeah, that's right.
Kolento or Roger for week number 2 would be just...
Yeah, either one, you can't be disappointed
No.
if you're a fan watching at home. You're going to
No.
be stoked either way. Both of these players are really good.
Yeah. And both of these players probably have a good chance to make it pretty far in that last chance
Oh, yeah, and the
qualifier
redemption.
at the end of the season,
Yeah, absolutely.
which takes every single player that was a part of the Legendary Series, all the
Mhm.
players that qualified through the Challenger Cup, the invite players. We're just going to throw them into a giant room.
And we're going to cast Brawl.
Yeah.
And one
exactly.
of them's going to win.
Yeah. Actually, I think 12 of them are going to win.
Oh, wow.
So it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, that should be exciting. Absolutely. Now, this is the last game guaranteed today. I want to know who everybody at home is rooting for. Send those tweets, okay? That's at ESL Hearthstone, hashtag HLS. And you've still got a little bit of time, by the way, to enter into our Pro Perspective puzzle.
Woo.
Ooh, 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 for your chance to win
Give it-
5 expert packs.
Giving me the pack jitters.
All right, so Roger should probably be just about getting back, hopefully, and we'll be able to get this match started.
Yeah. So,
Any predictions?
Druid versus Rogue. This is tough. Kolento is known to be a pretty clutch player.
Mm-hmm.
Hearthstone, it's tough to be clutch.
Yeah,
Like your clutchiness, your clutch,
clutchiness.
your
Let's go with clutchiness.
yeah, okay. Your clutchiness reaches just about as far as RNGs will let you.
Yeah, that's right.
But keeping your calm in those high pressure situations is also really tough. Making the best play, making the smartest play.
Mm-hmm.
But he also looks dead tired.
Yeah, he really does. I know he's had a lot of travel. Not just in the last week or two, which I know is also true for him,
Yeah.
but if you look at the last year of his life,
He's been all over the place.
yeah, he's been everywhere, and it can be a real adjustment going from a streamer, you know, who's at home a lot and you're always in the comfort of your room and you've got your fans,
And your
to
Cheetos.
now an esports achiever,
Mhm.
you know, where life is the road in
Yeah.
a lot of those cases, you know? Yeah, which is, it's definitely an adjustment.
Yeah. And, I mean, he also competes in European and NA
Mm-hmm.
online tournaments. So adjusting your sleep schedule to compete with those. I can't remember. I think he lives in the U.S. now, but I'm not sure on that. He made a move a while ago. I'm not sure if he's back
Yeah.
or where he is.
Well, if he wins, hopefully we can find out.
Yeah.
And looks like keeping the deadly poison is Roger, and then mulliganing the entire hand out was Kolento.
Yeah. Not the best starting hand here. It's actually decent for Roger.
Mm-hmm.
Sap is a great card because you can deal with an early innervate play.
Yeah.
And even just a tempo play, sending back the first big drop.
Speaking of early innovate, I think we're going to look at this piloted shredder right now.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to sap this, though, because he's just going to, that'd be your whole turn.
Yeah.
And then he can just coin it out again.
Right.
You're basically negating the innervate, but you're trading innervate for sap, virtually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I bet I guess you got a deadly poison, and
But if you deadly poison, clear it off.
well,
if
it
you get
comes
something-
back for one thing.
Yeah. And you don't do anything else.
Yeah.
I mean, he can sap and just apply the deadly poison in preparation for next turn,
Mm-hmm.
which is going to be the play.
Yeah. All right, well, looks like he's just going
Just
to
throw it back
coin him
out
right
there.
back out there and then deal with him again. All right, well, then it's turn 4, no problem.
Mhm.
Okay, so, yeah, Violet Teacher. Okay, always chest. Always test.
Yeah. And this is going to be a big deal what comes out of this. That's actually huge. Because now he can keeper it. He can
Mhm.
trade in and keeper. So virtually he traded a charge of the the dagger,
I must safeguard.
and a Violet Teacher for just a Pile Shredder and the Battle Cry for Keeper of the Grove. So
Yep.
I'd say that's a good trade in Kolento's favor. If he got a 2-attack creature from that, that would have been really weird. He could have Wrathed. If he got 1-attack creature, he would have had to Wrath and Hero Power it down.
Mm-hmm.
So this makes it a lot cleaner. And now this is really weird.
Yeah.
Because
What do you do here?
he can SI Agent Eviscerate, but throwing an Eviscerate into a Keeper of the Grove feels like a lot of wasted damage.
Yeah.
And you're also wasting the Battle Cry from the SI Agent.
Yeah. That's the worst feeling when you have to use one of your combo cards just to start the combo for the other.
Yeah.
That's never efficient right there.
Plays right into the Wrath.
Yep.
He's starting to run out of cards. Both of his cards are situational. He can make a big play with Tinker, Sharp Sword Oil, and Blade Flurry. But there's going to be, I mean, Dr. Boom and Ancient of Lore sitting in the hand. As long as
Yeah.
Kolento gets a play for turn 6, I think he's sitting in a good position. A sprint is what Roger needs. If he gets
Yep.
a sprint in his next 2-3 cards, he's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Powder Shredder also pretty good because it's something that he can play on the board,
Yeah.
put on some pressure, and buy time to be able to refill his hand.
Sure.
All right, this
Gets
is
himself back up to 28 health there, too.
this is a big turn. Eee.
Yeah. All right, wow. So I guess you Wild Growth anyway. You don't
No reason not
necessarily
to.
save that for turn 10 to get a card or anything.
Yeah.
Well, that might put... Actually, you might think that would make Roger feel a little more comfortable, but I bet you it doesn't. That's like a dead giveaway that you're
Yeah.
either got Dr. Boom or Ancient Allure coming up next.
Yeah. And he's thinking about, he's going to play the Blood Mage here to cycle, which I
Mhm.
think is a smart choice because, well, actually, no. No, it's okay. Because he's still going to have it next turn. As long as he gets a card to combo with, he'll be able to deal with an Ancient of Lore.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Boom.
There it is,
Easy.
yeah. Always Dr. Boom. Easy choice.
And we talked about it earlier. Such a tough card for Rogues to be able to deal with.
Yeah. Yeah, and look at his hand. It's definitely going to take more than one card. I guess you can
It can
now with the
actually-
double, you can Eviscerate and Blood Mage and then cycle another card.
Yeah, that's actually a really great way to deal with it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, just needs that sprint, and he's good to go. Against Druids, you can put out so much damage in a single turn.
Yeah.
And if you get a big Blade Flurry, you can basically catch just about everything in it.
Mm-hmm. All right, I think it's gonna. Oh, it's Scenarios' turn. I was thinking Ancient Allure.
It's going to give his bombs +2/+2.
There you go. Of course. Very nice. Oh! Caught him before he hit the ground. That was rough.
It's like an alley-oop.
Wow. So prep, double Tinkers, Blade Flurry? I don't think so.
He's like 1 damage off from being able to do anything meaningful. He's going to have
Yeah.
to attack once into the scenarios. But it's actually big because Lotheb's going to lock him out from doing anything.
Yeah, that's true.
And he's going to be able to put him down to 17.
Mm-hmm.
He
Well, a
needs,
strong turn there. Now at this point, wow. You are already looking at an absolute minimum next turn of 13 damage.
he's dead, I think.
Yeah, and with the Sharp Sword Oil in hand, he is.
As long as he gets 1 card to combo the oil next turn,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he has to heal. And
Yeah.
he has to attack in. He's basically going to negate the 7 damage. So he's still alive, but barely.
Right.
I don't think there's any cards that can kill him here. Salsi, Deckhand. No. And you
No.
might at this point you just throw everything.
You just go for it, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
hope the Tinker Sword Oil goes into the Lotheb so you can put more pressure on.
Yep.
Actually, no, you kill the Ancient of Lore because of combo.
Okay. Give it to... Oh. All right, so you're hoping it goes to the teacher there. instead of the 1/1, aren't you?
Yeah. This is a tough choice. His hand is empty. He has no cards. So he kind of wants to Force of Nature here.
Yeah.
To clear the board. He's got stabilization tools with Ancient of Lore. He knows there's not a single card in the deck that's going to kill him.
Right.
Because there's 4 damage showing. If he has to throw a hero power into the Violet Teacher, he'll be sitting at 9 health. So nothing can do 5 damage from the hand without a combo.
Right.
And then he can Ancient of Lore next turn and start to come back. He needs to bank on Roger not drawing Sprint.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the best route. And this draw is huge right now for Roger. He needs something that's going to apply an ounce of pressure. That's not it.
No, but he can get to a sprint with that.
Oh!
Oh, it's close, but that's not
Yikes.
it.
He's out of oils.
Yeah, that's right. He is. So he needs 3 more damage. Is he out of eviscerates?
I think he has 1.
Okay.
No, he doesn't. He used the first on the Keeper and the second on the Dr. Boom. No eviscerates either. He's got backstabs left. He's got a deadly poison left.
Yeah,
he does have a Blade Flurry left.
He needs a deadly poison or a Blade Flurry here. Well, even Blade Flurry, though, at this point.
It would help him clear the board and keep himself alive.
Right.
But Kolento at this point can just Ancient of Lore heal up.
Yeah.
And Roger might run out of damage.
Oh, wow. Going to be a little more aggressive here.
Yeah. So
I
2
like it.
cards.
He's kind of made the correct read then that
What cards?
what card kills me right now,
Yeah.
you know?
I don't think there's any card that can kill him. That's not it.
Nope, that certainly isn't it.
And he can't even clear anything off the board. And Savage Roar next turn would be 6 + 7.
I mean, that's all he needs.
It would be
is,
lethal because he has Azure Drake Swipe as well.
Right, yeah, I was going to say he needs either maybe second Force of Nature would do it as well.
Yeah, okay. He's going to heal here.
Yeah, you
Azure
might
Drake.
as well go fishing first, too.
Yeah. And make sure he heals.
Mm-hmm.
There's no other cards. There's no cards that can win Roger the game right now.
No, yeah, Kolento
I think
hanging in there.
I think he may have just secured his spot in the finals. Well played comes out from Roger.
Roger seems to know it as well.
Azure Drake could give him something, but he's out of eviscerates.
Yeah.
What can he even draw? Deadly Poison is not going to do it.
No, it's not.
I mean, he can hope
Not
for a Doomsayer.
quite.
That's a miracle.
Doomsayer?
That's
Natty P.
Oh, man. Colento's like, yep, well played.
Got this. And he might as well just show him, hey, by the way, look at what I've had for the last couple turns.
Wow, and Kolento
Rough life.
has done it.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. And Kolento. Kolento winning Season 2 and clearing his board. Just a moderate little level of bad manner there from Kolento.
Yeah.
The Week 2 champion. And I think a player that we would have probably predicted before we got to this weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Kolento will probably be a safe bet to win.
Yeah.
But then after yesterday's matches, I wouldn't have made that bet.
No. Kolento came to this with a really rough start. His first match, we got 3-0'd by an unknown player in Lemurian. And Lemurian played really well over the course of the weekend, but Kolento, it looked like he was struggling. It seemed like he was making suboptimal plays. He was getting unfortunate. But then he just turned it around. I mean, he had 3-1 series in a row, and he just looked like he was methodically destroying the hopes of
There was
players.
the Control Warrior game where I don't know what that was, whether it was a lack of patience or
Yeah.
if he really thought that gives him the best chance to win that game. But that was one game that was pretty bizarre the way he chose to play it.
Yeah. No, but Kolento and Life Coach, the 2 players thus far that have qualified for the Legendary Series Land Finals, Those are
already stacked. You don't need to
yeah,
invite
those are two
any.
huge names.
Yeah, you don't need any other player to get into this tournament that is a big name for it
No.
to be already a really big tournament.
Yeah, very impressive stuff, and I'm looking for those Challenger Cup players to start coming out and making a name for themselves.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Maybe in some future weeks. Maybe
well,
in some
Silent
future
Storm was one of them last season.
Weeks. Yeah, he came all the way from the Challenger Cup, and he won Season 1. So maybe
Yeah.
we'll see that again in Season 2. We'll have to see. We're only about halfway through, and not even because there's that redemption tournament and stuff
Yeah.
at the end. So got a long way to go.
Yes,
Lots of
we
Hearthstone
do.
Legendary Series still left.
All right. Well, we're going to be working on getting Kolento on the line so we can pick his brain a little bit about how he chose to play out some of those matches. But
Mhm.
before we do that, it is time for us to reveal the solution to our puzzle, the pro perspective. Let's take a look at what Freshka did end up choosing to do in this situation. So, as again, just to review the situation, he's got his own Sylvanas facing another one. Taskmaster's his Sylvanas. Hits him in the face for 7 damage. BGH is his own Sylvanas and steals his opponent's.
Yeah.
End turn, probably GG.
Yeah. As we both know, big game hunter. If there's something with 7 attack on the board, he's got to kill it.
He has to kill it. He cannot help himself.
Yeah, he's got a big case of the trigger finger. But
Yep.
yeah, and he even got
He's got a huge gun.
he even got the attack in with the Sylvanas,
Yep.
as you clarified earlier in the day
Yeah.
to me.
That's right.
Because I didn't clarify that when I told you what my solution to the puzzle would be.
That's right.
Got to get that extra 7 damage
Can't
in
miss that.
before you kill your own Sylvanas. But yeah, you guys. Hopefully, one of you guys will be happy out there with those 5 expert packs. I'm jealous.
Yeah, so to those of you who entered and got the puzzle correctly answered, congratulations. And we'll be reaching out to you to let you know who wins that raffle if there was more than one of you who got it right, who I'm sure there was. Now, also, we definitely want to thank Plantronics and Gigabyte for making this giveaway possible that we're able to do with this pro puzzle solution here. Gigabyte, Plantronics, you guys are the best.
Yeah, and of course for giving us those awesome commercials
Yes,
for
absolutely.
this season as well.
Yep.
The-
Keeping me awake at times with those commercials.
They never get old as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time I see one, there's another little thing I didn't notice the last time that I watched
Yeah.
it. So, yeah, all right. And then, of course, there is still an opportunity, if I'm not mistaken, because the show's not over, for you to head to esl.gg/legendary giveaway for your chance to win a Plantronics rig headset and more packs.
Yeah, which they just go so well together.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a fine wine and stinky cheese. That's how I think of a Plantronics rig headset and 50 expert packs. So make sure you get on board with that. And if you want to divert your packs my way,
Mm-hmm.
I would not be opposed.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to do that. I am not going to do that, but it does look like we have Kolento ready to talk to us a little bit about how he was able to fare this weekend. Kolento, how are you?
I'm okay. I'm tired, of course. It's been a long day.
Yeah, been a long day. So how are you feeling after having won free ticket out here to Burbank to compete for a $25,000 prize pool?
I don't know. I never thought about it. I didn't quite was sure about how much will I win and what will I win
Mm-hmm.
when I was competing.
Okay.
So I didn't have time to think about it.
Okay.
All right.
You were one of the only players to bring Warrior over the course of the weekend. What are your thoughts right now on the status of Warrior and Priest in general? Because a lot of people haven't been bringing those lately to a lot of tournaments.
I don't know. Warrior looks like wasn't the best choice for this tournament. I felt like every single time my lineup was much worse than my opponents, but still winning games. Maybe just luck. I don't know. I felt like that.
You can't win a Hearthstone tournament without at least,
Well,
at least
a
a
little
bit. Of luck.
bit. So tell us a little bit about the game that you decided to play. Your warrior, your control warrior, looked a lot like a face warrior the way you were playing it. Tell us a little bit about your strategy in that one.
Yeah, in the finals, that last game where you just flooded the board and tried to go all in. The one where you missed the 1 in 5 rag, YOLO
Oh.
rag.
It's one of courses of action Warrior takes when it comes to the Warrior versus Dude matchup. Sometimes I just like slam Cruel Taskmaster on turn 2 without any like backup, just like a body to 2 minion for 2 mana. It's good enough in this matchup. Dude needs to be under the pressure in this matchup, I feel like. It's like I didn't quite have enough damage to kill him. Normally I would probably have like a normal 5 drop to play. I didn't. I had the shield block which I lost tempo by playing and no shield slam to follow. Just run out of steam. No big legendaries to follow up my rush. Like Dr. Boom would have ended that really easily.
And there was also that thing you did with your hand
Yeah.
when you were about to throw down the rag.
Was that a
Giving us-
prayer to the RN Jesus?
No, it's more like a message to Rag. What will happen if he won't hit you?
Oh, very good. All right, Kolento. Well, congratulations. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you out here in Burbank. But in the meantime, get yourself some rest, man.
Okay.
All right, thank you. All right, well, gracious in victory. Definitely looks like he needs some sleep, though.
Yeah, he's gonna sleep for quite a while
Yeah.
after that one. But it's $1,500 to him. Trip out here. He said he wasn't thinking about it, or he didn't even know. Just like, oh, another tournament. Let's just go and school some Hearthstone players. But
Yeah.
I'd hate to see what happened to that rag after the matchup.
Yes. Well, hopefully no one will ever know but Kolento and Ragnaros what happened to that rag. Any final words, TJ, before we call this weekend a wrap?
No, this was a super fun weekend. It even topped week 1 for me, and it was a great finals. Went all the way to game 5. Was a really exciting finish. And life coaching Kolento, I mean, you can't really ask for anything more for a LAN final. So
Right.
really looking forward to the rest of the regular season, and then, of course, to that finals.
Yeah, well, I just want to say that it was an honor and a privilege to be able to sit in the chair of the incomparable Frodan all weekend and to miss Lethal more times than I can count. I had a blast. This was a lot of fun.
It was
Thank
great.
you, TJ. Thanks to everybody back in the control room on the production line and everybody watching at home, and, of course, our sponsors. We'll see you in a couple weeks when we come back with Hearthstone Legendary Series Week 3. Good night.